Welcome to our I Am Workshop Conversation Series, a transformative journey designed to inspire self-discovery and ignite your creative spirit. With your hosts, Anna Maria Davalos, Maria Lanas, and Maclovia Martel. Today we're joined by Coraline Turner, a Manchester-born, London-rooted couture artist whose one-of-a-kind garments feel less like fashion and more like portals into the version of yourself you haven't met yet. Today, we get to explore her journey, her artistry, and the wisdom that moves through her. This conversation is an invitation to anyone who has ever felt the pull of a deeper calling, a hidden talent, or a truth waiting to be made visible. Coral, thank you. Thank you for being here at I Am Conversations podcast. We're so grateful.
Yes, we are. Welcome.
Well, thank you, but I am blown away with that introduction. I have to nick all of those words because that was just absolutely fantastic. That description was just mind-blowing. So I'm
It's
honored and
true.
I'm humbled to be here with both of you. So thank you very much. And thanks for thinking of me.
Oh,
Definitely.
thank you. So I wanted to just ask a question if you can tell us about a pivotal or transformational moment in your life where you learned you had a special gift or gifts.
So, well, there's so many. It's for me, it's about following the breadcrumbs,
Mm.
paying attention to the signs. So, for example, my studio that I have now, um, I remember when I first saw pictures of it, and I just thought, oh, I'm not going to go there. And then I continued to look around, and I thought, oh, I'll get a shop, I'll get a boutique, and then it just kept coming back to the studio where I'm at now. And so I went to go and have a look at it, and when I went there, the studio that they originally showed me was a lot larger than I needed the use of. So I was saying to them that that's going to be a bit too big for me. And they said, well, if you can hang on, we've got another studio that's going to be coming up. Shall I take you to see that? So I said, yeah, okay. So they took me to see the other studio. And as soon as they opened the door, because the woman that was in that studio, she used to do aromatherapy oils. And as soon as she opened the door, the smell of all these oils that just hit me, and I just said, yeah, this is the place that I need to be. This is where I'm going to be. So I says, yeah, sure. And then they said to me, right, okay, fine, we need to sort out the deposit. So I'm like, okay, fine. And then when I left, there's a billboard, and this billboard, it's one of those ones where it rotates.
Mm.
And as I looked up, the billboard said, "You've made the right decision. You know it's the thing to do." And I thought, "Hang on a minute." And I stood there for the next 10 minutes waiting for it to rotate to say that thing again. And I thought, no, no, I know exactly what I saw. I know what I've read, and it didn't come back. It came back around. That's the point that I'm making. And I was like, right, oh, okay. And that kind of, you know how you get those little heart palpitations because you're like, what is going on?
Yeah.
So then I was sorting out the deposit. And then it just so happened that this guy that I used to work for, he rings me up and he says to me, you couldn't do me a favor by any chance, could you? I've got some admin that I need sorting out. Would you be able to give me a couple of hours of your time? And I says, yeah, sure. The exact money that I needed for the deposit was exactly what he paid me. So I'm like, okay, tick that box.
Everything's lining up.
Yeah, exactly,
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
Oh my
So
God.
I'm getting ready to move into the studio, and I'm saying to myself, now this means, because this is me working from home, so this means I'm now going to have to double up on everything that I need. I thought, so that's going to be starting all over. So I'm going to have to get another machine, scissors, this, that, and the other. And then I get a phone call from a friend of mine, Kay, who's a writer who now lives in Spain. And she says to me that my Coral, you couldn't do me a favor. I says, what do you need? And she said to me that, well, I've got all of Betty's stuff, which is her sister that passed away, and Betty was an embroiderer. So I
Mhm.
says, yeah, and she goes, and I don't want to give it to charity, would you be able to take all of this stuff off my hands? Sure. So I'm having to travel from London to Bath. And when I go to get the stuff, it's everything that I need. Another machine,
Wow.
scissors, fabrics, threads, the whole caboodle. I'm telling you, it was, that's what I'm
Oh,
saying. You just couldn't make it up. But then this is what I find is interesting is in all of that where spirit, the universe, where they set you up, where they put you in the place that you need to be, then comes the challenges. Because now you've got all the things that you need to put in place, but then it's how does the work evolve? What does that look like? And that was not without its challenges. And I remember one day, and when I was thinking to myself, I was having I don't have them often. In fact, they're very rare, but I was having a little pity party. I set everything up. I thought this was supposed to go a certain way. It's not going exactly according to my plan or my bank balances plan. And so what do I do with that? And as I'm having this little pity party as I'm walking down the road, I just felt this. If it was the hand of spirit, then fine, okay. And I just felt this hand come and just bash me right, right at the side of my head. I fell over. I bruised my nose and I scraped the side of my cheek, and I fell
no.
by the side of a church called All Saints Church. And I looked around, and then there was this girl with her partner, and she goes, "Oh, that woman's fallen over. Let's go and help her up." And then the guy goes, "Oh, she's getting up now, so she'll be okay." And I wanted to turn around and say to her, "You need to ditch him because your first reaction was to help, and his reaction was to not. So you
Mm-hmm.
need to pay attention to that." But then when I got up and then when I got home, and then I looked at the bruising and I just thought, yeah, okay, spirit, I hear you. You just box me upside my head to make sure that I'm paying attention. Don't be ungrateful. And this isn't who you are. It's just something that, as I say to people, it's something that you need to go through. It's not here
Right.
to stay. It's something that you're going through. So that's one of the many different transitions and things that spirits show me over the years.
Well, you were, in tune to see and feel those lessons because most people would not. you know? So
Yeah,
you were good.
but then how can you not?
Well, some people would just say, "Oh my God, I fell," but you really got the message.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, without a doubt, without a doubt. It shook me to my core, especially the fact that I'd fallen by the side of this church called All
Mm-hmm.
Saints Church. And I just thought, okay, I hear you, I hear you guys. But it's the way the thoughts were going on in my head. And then it's as though spirit just like, I've had enough of this. Shut
Exactly.
up.
So then
Get on with
did you start when you started, you said now you have to do the work.
it.
When you create, do you get downloads? Do
Oh
you,
yeah.
is
Yeah.
it,
How
it's
does it
like,
Yeah.
work? What is your
yeah,
process?
what is the
Well, you see,
process?
I have a love of fabrics. So
Uh-huh.
I don't consider myself to be like yourselves, the artist where I'll get and I've got a sketch and I let the fabric speak to me. So for example, this fabric here, this pure wool, I
Mm-hmm.
decided that I wanted a shirt, but I wanted a shirt that was more of a jacket. And I
Mm-hmm.
thought, okay, but what I wanted to do as well is to have fun lining everything up. And then on the sleeves, these are cut on the bias. So it was being able to, I like to play. The fabrics are just as, for me, they're living, breathing,
Mhm.
um this whole thing that I need to cherish and to let it shine, to let it speak. So the process for me is the fabric first and then the design comes, and then it can be within that design I see another design and I see another idea. So it's a constant evolution. So I couldn't be not I couldn't be. I don't see myself as the person that I draw a sketch and then I go down that path, because I could draw that sketch and then it would need to be changed.
So when you have someone um that wants to have something made for them, do you match up that fabric with the personality of the person or the soul, or the does it sort of
with
combine to create, like, you see someone and you're like, oh, the fabric, I know the perfect fabric for you.
well, it's interesting from the viewpoint of the ready to wear. It starts with the fabric, but when it comes to bespoke, it starts with the person's personality.
Mhm.
So then, so I'll give you a classic example. So when I was doing a wedding trousseau for a friend of mine that's on the website, when she came to me with the different ideas of what she thought she wanted, but I couldn't see her in those. And I said to her, you know, it's I'm not here to tell you what you can and can't have, but I am here to tell you what I will and won't do. And
Mhm.
I won't make something that I don't feel is going to be a reflection of your personality. And it's not about the money. It's all about the person, because my role as a designer is about the whole transformation of that individual. I take that very much to heart. I want for people to be able to see who they are through the clothes that they wear, as opposed to just wearing clothes. And that transition, because our clothes are our armor, and how we show up, I feel, is very important. And especially if you're trying to, clothes can take people into a space of overwhelm. You can put them in something that, as the designer, it makes you look great, but as them, they just feel that, oh my gosh, who am I in this? As opposed to, I need for the women that I dress, and even the men when I do men's shirts, I want them to be able to hold their head high. And when they're stepping out from a place of confidence. They know that I've got this. They may be shaking their boots inside, you know, but they know that I've got this. This is me. And when I see that taking place in bespoke, and I see that smile, oh,
Mhm.
then I know I've done my job.
That's so beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, because you're changing the thinking behind it.
Mm,
It's a piece that is made for you, especially not just your body, but your soul, your
that's
mind,
right.
right? You're helping the person move along the world, experience life in a
Yeah,
positive way, right?
yeah. It's very
So
important. Because you've got to bear in mind, Lolly, they're trusting me. And as I'm saying, it's so easy for it to be about, yeah, we've got this fabric and I'm going to do this for you, as opposed to, who are you?
Mm.
What do you normally wear? What do you like to wear? What colors would you wear? Why wouldn't you wear that? Why wouldn't you? And then I feel very much like the fashion detective. I'm trying to get to the root of who you really are.
Mm-hmm.
And are you just, you know, that whole mindset, oh well, I'm not really interested in clothes. Well, you must be to a certain extent. Why aren't you interested in clothes? Or is
you're
it that you feel that you never show up in the way that you want to? And you find personalities that sometimes have been stuck for years because other people have told them how they're supposed to be, as opposed to them being who they want to be. And there's a huge difference there.
Mm.
Yeah.
What
I
was the
mean, you're putting that thinking behind, and I think that's so unique.
Thank
You're
you.
putting this, I haven't seen that. And I think that is so important. You're changing the mindset.
Mm,
And, I mean, it's accessible. I mean, can people reach you, find you easily?
yeah,
What
they've
you're
got.
offering, I think is incredible.
Well, thank you.
It's
Well,
very personalized.
it
Personalized.
It,
is. It
extremely personalized. What was the first garment that you created that felt more than just clothing? Can you remember?
oh there was so many. The thing is that I started designing because I didn't like the idea of somebody turning up wearing the same outfit as me. And that
Mm.
just really used to bug me. If it came to shoes, I was fine. But when it came to clothes, I think it was because I'd save up my pocket money and I'd go and buy something. And then if I saw somebody else turning up in that outfit, that would just put me right off. But
Mm-hmm.
I'd always been sewing in the background, and my mom taught me to sew. And it was for me, it was what I realized with sewing is it was about courage, having the courage to do something that, can I do this? So my sewing was always very meticulous. I had to be the best because, and it had to be so neat. It had to be as good on the inside as it was on the outside because I'm competing with, not even competing is not the right word. I want to make sure that not only is it going to last, but also as well, it's going to speak about my personality. And I
Mhm.
know with my mom and dad, if they're giving me the pocket money to get fabric, I've got to make sure that I've not wasted their money. So I've got to make sure that it turns out a certain way. And I feel it was when I, even though I've been sewing at home, when I went to school and I was studying sewing at school, the first thing that I was making there was a black polyester flared skirt. And I thought, to go into class, I'll get this done in the hour. That's it. No
No.
problem whatsoever. It must have been about 6 weeks later. I mean, as a child, I'm surprised I didn't have gray hair because that 6 weeks was just so, oh my gosh, why does it take so long? It's two pieces and a waistband and a zip. What is taking so long? And it was, and that's when that really did teach me patience because I'm not the only student in the class. And and it was things like that. But the love of sewing, oh, as soon as I was around fabric, that was it. I was off. My parents could say that if I went missing, there was two places, either a bookshop or a fabric shop. If there was one of those around, that's where I'd be.
No, that patience and that craftsmanship, it's definitely a talent and a gift, you know. I
Thank
mean,
you.
my mom used to love to sew and she would try to teach me, and I swear, my sewing is so artistic.
The overlock machine. Do you know the overlocking?
Yeah, I do. I do.
That's what I did for my mom for a summer. I did all the overlocking. And yeah, I wasn't patient enough.
Yeah, well, you saying that, I remember the first time I bought an overlocker and I went to thread it up, and I started I inside I was crying because I just thought I'm not getting this.
Mm-hmm.
I've spent I've
Mm-hmm.
spent £600 and I can't figure it out. This
Mm-hmm.
isn't right. What's going on? And then it was the I'm not going to let this beat me. But at the same time, the stitching wasn't right. It wasn't cutting properly. It wasn't this. And then I could hear in the back of my head that phrase, a poor workman always blames his tools. And I thought, no, this is me and this overlocker. We're not getting along well. And then I'd watched all these different videos, I read the books, and then it clicked about how rather than rethreading everything, just knot it, pull it all through,
Mm-hmm.
and then start to adjust. And then I realized what made me laugh, it was my fear of the machine. And I thought, how can you be afraid of a machine? Because, well, if I get it wrong, it's going to damage my work, it's going to cut the seam wrong. And it was this anxiety. And I thought, I can't be getting anxious over a machine. This isn't right. This is another thing to add to my toolkit. So then I started to talk to the machine. I saying, look, we're in this together, okay? You
Yeah.
need to show me where I'm going wrong, and then I will do my best to make sure that I keep you oiled, maintained, the works. And then X amount of years later, I mean, it makes me laugh now when I look back on those things.
That is so funny.
So
It is.
No, and I mean, now that I'm thinking, so you create these clothes on the personality. What
Yeah.
else? What else do you see?
Also, as well, it's you see, the interesting thing is that for a lot of people that I don't want to say that are not in tune with themselves, but feel that they don't have any spiritual association with anything other than what they see in this world, just or what they just see externally. And then sometimes when I'm around people and I can pick up certain things about them, whether it be a recent loss or whether they're going through something, and I have to be mindful that I'm not invading on their space and
mhm.
their personality and who they are. And I'm also mindful of the fact that sometimes it's not that they want to have something made for themselves. They just might want to have someone to talk to. Um, and being able to differentiate between, I remember there was a woman that had come to me and she doesn't normally wear dresses. And I said, well, why do you want to have a dress made? And she said, well, I think that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm going to a wedding. So, well, have you got a dress in your wardrobe? And she said, yes. I says, well, could we just adjust it? And she went, but aren't you supposed to be set? And I says, no, 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 no. I says, I'm not going to sell you something that you is only going to see the light of day once and then it just gathers dust. That doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
But we can add to it if need be. And she was saying, really? So I says, let's see what needs to be adjusted. And then when she came in, she brought in two dresses. The first dress that she originally planned to wear, we'd adjusted it, and it was great, and it looked lovely. But then she said, "But I've got another dress as well." I said, "Well, try on the other one." She tried on the other one, didn't need any adjustments whatsoever. It fit her perfectly. But in the meantime, before she came to see me, I had in the back of my mind that what would you wear with a dress that that you feel is already apt for a wedding? Because the thinking is that you wear a shawl or you'd wear a jacket. And I thought, why don't we step out of that, what would be considered to be the norm? So I designed a little cape, and not necessarily for her, but I just thought, and I kept hearing, just do a cape, just do a cape. And sometimes when I'm hearing them say to me, just do, I'm like, no, 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 no,
Mm-hmm.
just do a cape. I went, okay, fine. So I did the toile, a mock-up of a cape. So then she brings the dress in, she's tried it on, it fits her perfectly. I says, I've got an idea. And I says, I just want you to, I don't want you to, I just want you to see what it looks like, but I don't want you to buy it. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I just want to show you. So I put this cape, this toile on her with the dress, and it was just this perfect match. And I says, look, and she goes, yeah, I want a cape. I says, no, no, no. I said, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go home and I want you to think about it. And then you call me the following day. And if you want to just go ahead with the cape, we'll go ahead. So she's going, I don't need to think about it. I says, I want you to think about it. And she says, no, 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 I don't need to think about it. And so then we went back and forth and she says, I want it. And then it just so happened, I went to my fabric stash and I pulled out this black wool fabric that matched her dress perfectly. And I made this cape, this beautiful wool cape that she once it was fitted and she wore it to the wedding and she gave me this fantastic review and she actually said in this review, I wasn't trying to sell her anything, but at the same time she said that I'm trying to talk her out of it and she's trying to talk me into it. And it should be the other way around somehow. And she didn't go there with the intention of having that. But what she liked was the fact that when I said to her that if dresses aren't what you normally wear, then that's not what we're going to do. Why
Uh,
do something that you don't normally do? Why put yourself in a position that is you're just not going to feel comfortable? Because then you're going to be forever mindful of the fact that you're not comfortable. And that's one of the first things to always bear in mind.
yeah. Well, maybe she's been wearing the wrong dresses.
Yeah, there is that. There is, but she's more of a jeans and
It
shirt
is
girl.
Very
what
casual.
and what about, because recycling clothes from loved ones who has passed?
Yeah, I mean,
Do you feel the energy in the clothes,
oh,
or would
without a
you
doubt,
recommend not to do it or to do it? I mean, does
to
that?
do it. I have my dad's suits, and I'm going to, and my dad's a big guy, 6'4", very broad. So I'm going to be able to get a lot of wear out of my dad's suit. So I'm going to be making, so the trousers I'll more than likely make into a skirt, and the jackets I'll be making into waistcoats or sizing it down to make into another jacket. And I actually teach upcycling and alterations and repairs as well. So when people are bringing in garments whereby they've changed in size and the fabric, it all works, and to see, and it's for them, it's the joy of seeing themselves having transitioned from one size to another,
Mm-hmm.
and that they're still able to wear this outfit. And then for others, it's the I didn't think I'd be able to do something with this. So for some it's taking it in, for some it's expanding it. It's there's so much to gain from sewing.
Do you think that your ancestors play a role in your creative?
Absolutely. My grandmother is called couture.
Well,
I've
is
always
she
been a
is this
couture.
Jamaican? The
Yeah, she's my
Jamaican.
Jamaican
Hmm.
grandmother. She had her own design business. She
Hmm.
employed
Oh,
seamstresses
that's
as
beautiful.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely the phrase that the joke that everybody has in relation to me is that I came out of the womb with a needle and thread. So, and yeah, and I can identify with that. I mean, I've been sewing since I was 4, and I had a Singer treadle machine. So it's one of the one chicka chickum chicka chickum
Yeah,
chicka
yeah,
chickum.
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, so that's how I started. So I could just do straight stitch.
And the
Yeah.
colors too, like the colors, do you,
Oh,
is
I
that,
love color. Oh,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
it's
On my
very important.
website,
It's very
yeah.
healing. Yeah.
Oh, it is. And
Hmm.
I love the fact that you picked up on that because that's the other thing as well that people don't seem to realize that color, patterns. All right, look at what Lolly's wearing. It lifts her face, it matches
Hmm.
her lipstick, the whole where it's going on, the different colors in on the sleeves, all of that, that pop of color is to me, I'm I have this thing, and I used to keep saying to myself, is it because of the Gemini in me that I can't just work in one plain fabric? There's always going to be a twist to it.
Mm.
Uh-huh.
There'll have to be, even if it's red, then there have to might be a hint of black in it or something of that nature. Is it all about the duality in me? And it's color, it's patterns, it's detail. Oh, it's the whole sexiness of what clothes does for you.
Yeah, the colors they can bring out a lot in a person. I mean,
Well,
yeah.
and the wrong color can dull you too.
The wrong color can take you down a path of no return, where because you just think that what the heck was I thinking there? And that's what gets me. The whole why do you want to hide? I encourage people to wear colors and to wear patterns.
Mm.
And especially when it gets to, there's this thing about when a woman gets over a certain age, and I noticed that there was this huge conversation going on a few years back that when a woman gets to 50, it makes her invisible. And I thought, well, listen, I've passed that mark and I'm far from invisible. I can assure you of that much. And
Exactly.
how dare you? What is this? The Grey Brigade? We're just supposed to disappear into the darkness?
It's when you
And
first you start waking up. You
exactly.
know?
That's when you've got the confidence to wear
Hmm.
that pattern. That
Mhm.
is so OTT. In that OTT is you saying to the world, this is who I choose to be, not who you tell me to be. I mean,
Yeah,
one of the phrases that I use is that the opinions of others are statements and not facts. Because at the end of the day, you decide. And I love it. Put a bit of color on there. I mean, even now, as I'm talking to you guys, I've got my
yeah,
silk green scarf on with the yellow in. There's going to be a pop of color somewhere. Has to be.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And what is your favorite fabric? Silk, linen?
I would say I don't have a favorite fabric, but the one I work in a lot has been jersey because I love all
Ah,
fabrics. So I couldn't just single one out and then upset the rest.
Hmm.
So we shouldn't even be having that conversation, Lolly. I don't want
well,
to upset you.
no, because I have a relationship with fabric, right?
Which fabrics do you like?
I love cotton.
Yes.
I love linen, but I hate the fact that it always wrinkles and I
Uh-huh.
always ended up messing it up. So,
Right.
I love it, but, then I know what it does. My wool sweaters, they always end up this big because I forget.
You remember when you're little and you couldn't wear certain sweaters because they're itchy?
Yes.
Do you remember the
Yes.
itchy, the wool? I like, I can't.
Well, yeah, I'm and I'm not the master of everything to do with all fabric. I mean, I've had my dress started out one size and then I thought, oh, well, I'll just quickly put it in the washing machine and then it was ready for Barbie, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not, I forget. And then I had this really beautiful pink sweater that I bought, and my husband put it in the washer and in the dryer, and it came out, this big.
Yes, I know. And then,
And the pants were this big, and they were not wool. I mean,
I just, I do people come to you or do
yes.
you so they come to you to get a personalized
Yeah,
Um,
they'll email me, they'll find me online.
mhm,
And then we either do a Zoom or we have a discovery chat, or they'll come to make an appointment, come to my studio,
mhm,
and we'll sit down and we'll have a chat there. Or if they've seen something on the website that they like and that they want to come to the studio and try on, they do that as well. But yeah, they tend to find me, they tend to source me out.
So you don't sell it at any boutique stores. People come or
No, but 2026, as I say never. So 2026 is all about being able to have more exposure. So
mhm,
I
Mhm.
am looking at what would be an independent boutique that I would like to go in, that I could have that conversation with them. Because bearing in mind the garments on the website, they're all one-off pieces. So every garment that you see on that website is the only one that I've made. And it talks back to my philosophy of I don't want to see somebody else wearing the same thing as me, so I don't want to do that to other people. Now, for other people, they might think that's a little bit of a marketing madness, but at the end of the day, I feel that there's more power in being true to who you are than
Mhm.
than to feel that you're following everybody else. So
mhm,
my philosophy about how I run my business doesn't follow the same guidelines as to what a fashion boutique is supposed to be.
which is a
Well,
beautiful thing.
I think it's a
Thank
beautiful
you.
thing, because, and I'm going to reach out to you later because I have fabric that I got from my dad. And I
Oh,
have never
wonderful.
known what to do with this fabric,
Oh, lovely.
right? I mean, so I
Yes,
think that what you are thinking, it's not, it's making this possibility for us to have this really special way of dressing ourselves, right?
definitely.
And we can even think about it, what am I going to dress? How am I going to be in spring, summer, fall, and
Yeah,
winter, right? I
yes.
mean, you can actually design this for us, I think,
Yes. Yes.
right?
Yes,
And with that
definitely.
mentality of, reaching beyond and our personalities and united, I think that
Oh,
would be
always.
that would be so beautiful. It would
Yeah.
be a
Yeah.
complete
Mhm,
way of, carrying ourselves. So I
Oh,
think,
definitely. Definitely. And the fact that if it's garments that have belonged to your parents, or and that you still want that piece of that memory, because also as well, bearing in mind that fabric, it's gone through one part of history and now it's creating another story. And I remember meeting this woman, and she had this skirt and the fabric was 100 years old.
Mhm.
And that was just so mind-blowing to me. And she said that it was originally her dad's, and then she'd made it into a skirt. And then I'm looking at and I'm touching a piece of history 100 years old.
mhm,
And the beauty of it is it's the conversation that it still lasted the test of time, and
mhm,
it's still having a conversation.
mhm.
So it
Yeah,
might be that she passes that on to her daughter. But
Yeah.
and she might change that up and stuff. So the fact that there's so much history and storytelling that goes on in clothes, and there's so much
yeah.
we can gain from that as well. But also as
So
well, it's for you to think about, how do you want to honor the silk, and how do you want to wear it.
yeah.
So that's the other thing to think about. And one of the ways to be able to do that is you wrap it around your neck. You just wrap it
Hmm.
around your body and just get the feel of it, and
Yeah.
see, do I want this? Is there enough for a dress? Do I just want this as a top? Or do I just want to take a piece of it and use it somewhere on something? It doesn't
Mhm.
necessarily have to be that you have to use the whole fabric. It can be that you might have a favorite shirt that you've got, and you might want to take some of that fabric and change the collar.
Yeah.
There's so many ways in which you can play with that. And the other thing as well that I learned is that so I'd learned that. So I like crystals, and I found out that what some companies do is they will break up the crystals and actually weave them into the fibers of the fabric. And
Mm,
one in particular was amethyst. So
mm,
with the whole thing about amethyst being for wisdom, and in terms of its healing and the properties, and I just thought, isn't that clever? that you're
Yeah.
weaving crystals
It's a
into the
beautiful idea.
fabric.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they were doing it for men's suits. And that I did not know. See, I'm always learning. I'm
Yeah.
always learning.
Yeah.
That's
Everyone
beautiful.
is.
Yeah,
Everyone
no,
is.
absolutely. Right now we're learning and we love it.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of
Yes.
2026, uh, now I know you know a bit about astrology, or
Yes.
quite a bit about astrology, and the winter solstice is coming.
Hmm.
Is that a time where we should align with our best intentions? I mean, as far as what we want to do, what we want to accomplish, do you think it's a for the winter solstice? I think it's December 21st or 20th.
Hmm.
Is that a good time to
I feel that
have
it's
our
a time for us to start decluttering. I don't
mm,
know the exact dates. And whereas this is a conversation that with Laura, she would know the dates, the time, what time it's going to cross over. Whereas me, I read up on it and I'll find out the information. But what I'm noticing from an astrological viewpoint is this is a huge clear out time for all of us,
mhm,
mentally, spiritually,
mhm,
emotionally. I found myself, I've been going through a load of old paperwork and started to shred. I feel that 2026, as we go into that, it's going to be a phenomenal year
mhm,
if you embrace the energies and you start to get rid of all that no longer serves you. And I really feel that we need to be thinking about what we're thinking about and what we're saying, because we have the ability to be manifestors and alchemists and do that whole, not so much turning water into wine, but making our words, because our words are power, and
mhm.
we have the ability to do it just like that. And this is
Mhm.
why I feel that we have to be, for people like yourselves, you have to be very mindful about the words that you use, because you're bringing them into being. And that's the energy that I feel that we're all experiencing and witnessing. We are we are moving into times as never before, as never witnessed before, and energy as never witnessed before. We're seeing things that haven't happened in 600 years, 2000 years. I mean, this is big.
Mhm.
And we've been through, as people, we've been through so much, but it's people like yourselves where you're on this spiritual path and you are there as the teachers and the guides for other people now. So you're very much shining that light and saying, yeah, that tunnel with that hole, yeah, the light looks a little bit like a pinprick at the moment, but as you get a bit closer, it will start to widen. And I what I'd say to people is don't be afraid. It's very much go towards that light, clean up your act,
Do you think
start
there's going to be a
sharing.
big shift in spirit?
Massive.
Massive. Okay.
Oh, definitely. I'm feeling it already. And
Hmm.
I feel that it's for those people like ourselves, we have no excuse because we know better. So, I always say, words have power, thoughts have wings.
Mhm.
Pay attention to what you're saying, pay attention to what you're doing, pay attention to who you're around. You don't want people's negative energy to be dragging you down. I'm not saying that you get rid of all those people that want to moan, but what I'm saying is that you have to look at, well, what are you moaning about? You got up this morning, so come on, show some gratitude. And I feel that if we come from that place of whereby we're putting more energy into our gratitude,
Hmm.
we are going to accelerate at a rate far quicker than what we've ever experienced before, because time is just it's different to say time is flying by. It's flying past us. we
Hmm.
we
Yeah.
are playing catch up with time.
Hmm.
I'm still in August and I'm hearing that, what, 2 weeks,
Yeah.
it's Christmas, what?
I know it
No.
went by very quickly,
Yeah.
extremely.
The mind is not catching up with the times. I was in shock to hear, yes, Friday was Friday. I thought it was Thursday.
But that's what I'm saying. And also as well, people might find themselves at this point in time wanting to sleep a lot, and allow yourself to rest. If your body is telling you to rest, rest, because it knows that it's preparing you for something. We're going to, people are experiencing lots of downloads. They're dreaming more. They're finding themselves having lots of deja vu moments.
I just had one
Yeah,
yesterday.
there you go.
I
Tell
had
me.
two yesterday. And then the week before, I was so tired. I was extremely tired.
And did you dream?
Oh, my dreams. I tell, Lolly and Annie every night I have, it's like I'm watching a movie and I get up,
Hmm.
go to the bathroom, come back, and then that's my commercial break. And then I come back and it continues. It continues. And it's just amazing. I
And
have,
what are you getting from the dream?
it's more of a feeling.
Hmm.
I remember them, but I tend to always be in like a parking lot or something climbing up. I'm always climbing up a mountain or like I'm going up.
That's really good.
And sometimes the mountain is a snowy mountain with clouds, but I keep going. Or I'm in the water in the ocean and it's
Okay.
waves, waves,
So let's
waves.
take the first one. You're climbing up.
Yeah, it could
So
be like
you're
a
so
parking
you've got that.
structure. Hmm.
What, sorry?
It could be a parking structure. Sometimes I'm in a parking structure and I'm going up.
So the analogy is that you've got places to go. You're
Hmm.
going up into places, yeah?
Hmm.
So the parking lot is it's allowing you to stop, take a break,
Mm.
and continue on your journey,
Mm.
not feeling that you have to tackle it all at once. And then when
Yeah.
you were saying that, you've got the clouds, you're so your mind is heading into that space of higher consciousness where it wants to take you higher. You're being elevated.
Mm.
And as you and you know, and it's saying that it's not saying that it's going to be plain sailing. It's saying that there's going to be a few obstacles along the way, but you're still going to climb.
Hmm.
So whatever it is that you're doing, it's talking about you being on a journey as opposed to reaching a particular destination.
Mm.
That's what I'm feeling.
Yeah, and they repeat all the time. It's always that sort of climbing. Yeah, it's so interesting.
Mm.
But and there are obstacles, but I
Mm-hmm.
tend to keep going. But
Mm-hmm.
some things frighten me, and I'm like, what is this? But it's very interesting. But I love dreams. I love I love dreaming. I really do.
But even just the word that you use there, the word fear, I love the analogy for that,
Mm.
which is false evidence appearing real.
Mm.
Yeah.
So how we embrace that. And the beauty of it is our fears are those things where the ego is trying to protect us from being able to be more than
Hmm.
than
Yeah.
who we than be more because we know we're capable of so much more. And we are constant creators. We're not supposed to just be sitting still and just thinking, well, that's it. So you know that as an artist,
Hmm.
because you're not doing the same artistry each time, are you?
No, I do
Are you
different
painting?
things. I used to paint. I used to do a lot of wood sculpting, painting, drawing, and then I also did music, a lot of music. And I wrote a lot of songs, and then I went into documentaries, where it kind of
Excellent.
combined because of, I choose the music to go with the visuals, and I combined
Good.
it into that.
That's
And
lovely.
yeah, and if I don't create, I get sad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
No,
And
there's
I'm
a
sure we
need.
all have that feeling where you have to create. It's almost like a food.
Definitely, it
It's
is.
like breathing. You have to.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I totally agree with you, Lolly. Because it is the whole essence of your being. It is your breath.
Hmm.
And also as well, it's that I find creativity to be so humbling an experience. To take something that is just, it might be so I've taken this bits of fabric and I've made it into something else.
Yeah.
I crochet as well. So I take some wool and I've make them into these baker boy hats, which it started out as something just to be able to switch my mind off to just be in
Right.
a meditative state. And then the
Hmm.
next thing, I make a couple of these hats and be, oh, can I have one? Can I have? I'm
It
like,
leads to something else.
yeah,
It
exactly.
keeps. And I talked to Lolly about this, but creativity is layers,
Hmm.
and it's the same with music or writing. Everything
Well,
is. layered. Like when you do music, you have the, you start off with a acoustic guitar, and then you put drums, and then you put
Yeah.
bass, and it's this layering. Same thing with painting. You do like a
Yeah.
sketch on, and it tends to layer in with fashion. It's
I
the
think,
same thing.
yeah, creativity to me is sacred.
Mhm.
It is. It
And
It's a
is.
that
gift.
experience is really a moment for meditation, what you were saying.
Yes. Yes.
Because once we get into that zone of creation and we connect, I think that we connect with the divine.
I totally agree with you. I don't think, I know we do. I know we
Yeah.
do. Because sometimes,
And
I don't have any music playing. There'll be times when I've got music playing in the background. Sometimes I don't. I'm in my studio, total silence. It's me, the machine, the fabric, and we're
mhm,
just in a zone.
I
yeah,
prefer
And
that. Yeah.
and have you noticed that how quickly the time goes by when you're
Mhm.
just in that zone?
You lose
yeah,
yourself, and you don't
Yes.
yes.
know that you're supposed to eat. You're like, oh, I'm supposed to eat. I'm
Yes.
supposed
Yes.
to, because
Well,
you're in
that's,
a meditative state.
yeah, like Thomas Merton said, you lose yourself and you find yourself at the same time.
Mhm.
Very true. I love that. I
And
really, really do.
it's not about the beauty of it, it's the experience.
It is. It is. To me, it's the whole expansion of your consciousness, the expansion of your mind, the way it the way it takes you on a journey for you to be even more. And if you make a mistake, how you go back over it. And also as well, it's the way it plays with you. So if you make a mistake and then you could say to yourself, yeah, but nobody's going to see that. And then the other side goes, yeah, but it's there.
Yeah.
If someone is stepping into their craft or their calling, do you have a message for them, or their creative calling? Do you have any words of
I would say,
wisdom?
yeah, I would say don't beat yourself up.
Mhm.
I would say that, do not try as much as you can not to second guess yourself. The whole, it's not good enough. It's not this. Don't compare yourself to other people.
Mhm.
I feel it's important for you to know who you are. And then that person could say, yeah, but who am I? And
Mhm.
that's for you to go down that rabbit hole and to discover more about yourself. But I feel the biggest mistake that we can make is to compare ourselves to somebody else.
Mhm.
And whatever the level of success for somebody else looks like, it doesn't mean that it has to be the same for you. Your success can be that you've achieved something that you didn't even think you'd be able to do.
Mm.
That in itself is a success. And then if you can put a monetary value to that, that's great. But sometimes what tends to happen is the rewards come as a result of you following your path,
Mhm.
not because you've set out to do it that particular way. I found that when I was doing it the way everybody else said I was supposed to do it, it was driving me nuts.
Mhm.
It just didn't feel right. It just didn't feel that I was coming from a place of truth. And then I decided that, you know what? All these opinions are valid, but it's not working for me. So I have to be who I am. And when people say, "Oh, you can't do one of a kind," you can't. I thought, who are you to tell me what I can and can't do?
Yeah.
This is my life. I'm the one
Mhm.
that decides that. So what I'd say to those people is that listen to yourself, go within, take some time out to sit with yourself, 10, 15 minutes each day, and connect with who you are. That is the most important thing. And listen.
Corel, how can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, so my email is info@coralturner.com, and then you've got the website, Coral Turner. I'm on LinkedIn. I think I have about 20 subscribers on YouTube. So, and I'm on
So do
Instagram as
we.
well.
Yes, and I would love for people to please subscribe and
Yeah,
comment.
Yes.
follow.
They
Eh,
should subscribe.
Yes,
It's more than the thumbs up. It's to say, conversations like this that uplift people, that get
mhm.
them to step out of their comfort zone and to
Inspire.
realize, yeah, it's I mean, what you two are doing, I feel it is life-changing just being able to have the conversation. And I feel that's so beautiful. It really is. It's so important. And as we go on,
Mhm.
more and more people like yourself need to be sharing and spreading that message. So the more people that sign up to you, the more people that subscribe to you, the better it is, because we need individuals like you, Mackie, and you, Lolly, doing what you're doing and sharing your gift with other people so that they can have these conversations that in turn inspire other people as well. So you can't stop.
That's
No,
beautiful. Yeah,
thank
no.
you, thank you. No, we you know, because of you, we can't stop. And this conversation really inspired me to really think about my fashion next year.
Just wear that shirt. Wear that
You
turtleneck.
know, and
Yes,
I want to do something like so beautiful for myself.
excellent. As I'm seeing you with that jumper, I'm just seeing you picking out one of those colors and having that in a pair of flared trousers.
You are
Yeah.
going to tune into the untapped and combine it with fashion. And how cool is that? I mean, I don't
Yes,
think it gets cooler than that.
without a doubt, without a doubt.
I'm more
Yeah.
of a jeans and t-shirt.
You
But then
know?
also, Mackie, I think your t-shirts would be t-shirts with a message. See,
I
when
love.
I see you, I see the 60s funkiness of t-shirts whereby they were carrying a message. There's some color in it. There's a pop of color. It might just be that you've got a plain white t-shirt and then there's just one sleeve that is all about artistry,
Oh
you
yeah.
know? So there's something that, it looks plain at the front, that and then as you walk away, the back it's got a painting on the back.
Oh yeah. That's
It's not
beautiful.
just jeans and a t-shirt. It's where do I take the t-shirt and what do I
Yeah.
do with the jeans?
Well,
That's
remember,
beautiful.
it's about the energy that your clothes
Without a
are
doubt.
made with, you know? It's not,
Hmm.
you know, it's a difference from just buying from a shop and putting whatever. This is clothes with intention, with
With a
energy,
message.
with a message, and you
Yes,
know, hopefully they carry you on to something, an incredible experience,
definitely. And I
right?
love
But
that phrase, intention. I love it.
intention, yeah. That's the difference between buying it in the shop and going with Coral. Right?
Coral, can I pull a card, an angel card for you?
Please go for it. Oh, this is nice.
Okay.
I ain't expecting this. Woohoo.
Just remember, I'm not a professional. Okay.
We're all
You're the
professionals. We just
professional. I have uh daily guidance,
okay.
angels, or I have you choose daily guidance, or I have healing with the angels.
Uh-huh.
Is
Uh,
there
so
oh
I'm
sorry.
gonna go with daily guidance.
Okay. So this one. Okay,
Yeah.
beautiful. So this reading
Let's
is
see.
for Coraline. Beautiful
Du-du-du.
Coraline.
Shuffle it, Mikey. Shuffle it.
I'm yeah, I'm
I'll
trying.
blow on it.
Yes.
There.
And I'm okay. Here's a card that just flipped over and fell on the floor. Mm. It says innocence.
Oh,
Ah.
okay.
It says innocence, beloved one, everyone is guiltless in truth, as no one can alter God's handiwork of perfection. Give us your feelings of heaviness so we can lighten your load. Give us any guilt, anger, or blame that may shroud your loving outlook. Enjoy the peace within your heart once more.
Oh, that's lovely. That's
Wow.
fantastic because
So ask.
I do. I have another little idea, clothing idea up my sleeve, and that is a lovely confirmation for it. So yes, they are definitely calling to me.
Well, I am conversations. Lolly and I would love to just, we're so grateful and we're so thankful that you uh, are on this podcast because you've opened up so much
Oh,
light and wisdom and inspiration, not just with us, but I'm sure with so many other people. Thank you. Thank you,
oh,
Coral.
thank you. Thank you both so much.
Yes.
You're such a beautiful light. You really are, the two of you. You really do shine. So
Oh.
thank
As
you.
you
And
are
thank you for
too.
this opportunity, Oh, thank you. I'll take that.
Thank you,
Thank
Coral,
you
so
very, very
much.
Thank you
much.
so
Have a
much.
beautiful rest of your evening.
I intend to. And thank you. Lots of love to you both. Have a fantastic Christmas, a fabulous, abundant, and prosperous new year. And bring in all of that energy.
Yes.
Make whatever you want to have happen, happen.
Okay.
I want to
Thank
hear that you
you.
made it happen. Okay?
We're going to do that.
Likewise.
All right, my darling. Take
Bye-bye.
care. Lots
Thank
of
you.
love.
Let's love.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.